Hello Dogs fans, welcome to the second episode of After the Dogs Roar for 2017. This is the show that's dedicated to our lovely club, the Western Bulldogs, the red, white and blue. Now a bit coming up in this episode, let's have a look at the episode agenda. We're going to start the show with an overview of the AFL Women's Round 1 clash v Fremantle, which took place on Saturday night at Whitten Oval. Very historic, that game. Of course, it was the first game involving our Western Bulldogs women's side in the new AFL Women's National Competition. So looking forward to having a look at how that game panned out. Then coming up is the After the Dogs Roar AFL Women's Best and Fairest Award. My round 1 votes for that award. Of course, we did the men's last year. We'll be doing that again this year, but we're also doing the women as well. Then going to have a look at the AFL Women's Ladder, where we stand after round 1, and then coming up is a preview of the round 2 AFL Women's Clash, the Adelaide Crows. That will be on Friday night. And then topping off the show is the fan favourite segment, the 5 fan questions. I've picked 5 good questions for this episode. So let's not muck around, let's get straight in to the show, starting with an overview of the round 1 AFL Women's Clash v Freo. So the journey for our AFL women's side began on Saturday night at our beautiful home ground, the Whitten Oval, against Fremantle. It was, to be fair, it was a straightforward game. Our women's side did the best they could and came away with the win. It started in our favour in the first quarter. We kicked the first goal. Fremantle hit back with the next goal moments later, but we were able to take a 6-point lead into the quarter-time break. The half-time break, well, we were 3-0 to 1-5 at half-time. Freo only kicked 5 behinds in that quarter. They didn't kick a score in the third quarter, and we led pretty comfortably 5-6 to 1-5. And then in the end, our Western Bulldogs women's side got the job done and won their first game of the season. The final score 6-8, 44, defeated Fremantle 1-6-12. It was an entertaining game. Of course, it is going to be. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to in terms of the standard of the game. Of course, it's not the same as the men's, but it's still highly entertaining. Let's go through the goal kickers for our Western Bulldogs side. Brennan, she had a field day. She was outstanding. Kicked 2 goals. McLeod, Lambert, O'Connor and Blackburn kicked singles each in the match. And then our best players were Kearney, no doubt about that. She was fantastic. Brennan, Blackburn, Ernest, Lachlan and also McLeod. So a very good win to start off the season in terms of our women's journey. Okay, time now to get into my round 1 votes for the After the Dogs Roar AFLW Best and Fairest Award. These are the 3, 2, 1 votes. I'll be giving these every round, and of course the winner will be announced at the end of the competition. So let's get into my votes. I'll start with my 1 vote. It's gone to Ellie Blackburn. She was outstanding. She kicked 1 goal. She got a handful of disposals and had a big influence on the game. Katie Brennan gets 2 votes for me. She kicked 2 goals. She was fantastic. Got 16 disposals, 10 kicks, 6 handballs, 4 marks. She was outstanding on the day as well. And then the 3 votes, well, it goes to the former WBBL star for the Melbourne Stars, and that is Emma Kearney. She was outstanding. She was everywhere throughout the match. She got 23 disposals, 14 kicks, 9 handballs, and only the 2 marks, but she had a fantastic day for our women's side, and in terms of her personal performance, she was fantastic. So she starts off the 3 votes here on the After the Dogs Raw AFLW Best and Fairest Award. Okay, so the first round of the AFL Women's competition is complete. Let's see where we stand on the ladder. Of course, it was a big win against Fremantle. We've only been able to slot into third at the moment, though. Of course, Carlton and Adelaide both had big wins in round 1, so we are third on the ladder. Of course, don't forget the top 2 teams are the only teams that make the grand final. There's no knockout final series like the men's. It's the top 2 teams. So we need to finish either first or second to make the grand final in the first round of the AFL competition. Okay, time now to get into our round 2 AFLW clash, which will be against the Adelaide Crows at our beautiful home ground of Whitten Oval. I forgot to mention before that the first game attracted a crowd of just over 10,000 people. Fantastic, and congratulations to all those Western Bulldogs supporters who got out to Whitten Oval and supported our women. That is just a fantastic thing, and it should be the same here in our round 2 clash, which is on Friday the 10th of February starting at 7:35 PM. Of course, like I mentioned, it is at Whitten Oval. This game will be broadcasted only on Fox Footy, unfortunately. But look, it's going to be a good game actually, because the Adelaide Crows, they won their first game by a pretty good margin against the GWS Giants at their home ground in Adelaide. So it should be a good clash, of course. It's second v third. And looking forward to it. On Friday night, it will be the Western Bulldogs and Adelaide Crows in our round 2 AFL Women's Clash. The game kicking off at 7:35 PM. Okay, time now for the fan favourite segment. That is the 5 fan questions. This is where you lovely Western Bulldogs supporters get to post a question down below, and I pick the best 5. So let's have a look at the first question here. Will the Bont win the Brownlow this year? By Jack McPhee. Well, I tell you what, he should be in the top 5, maybe the top 10 this year. He had a fantastic year last year. He's been having a fantastic year the last couple of years, and he's bound to win one eventually the way he's going. Of course, he's already a premiership star in his early 20s, so look, he'll go very, very close, and I reckon, I'll tip it, I reckon he will win the Brownlow this year. Good question from Jen Evans. Will Cramery become a regular in the side, or will he have to earn his spot? You'd probably think he'll have to earn his spot, considering that we won the grand final last year. We have got a very strong side where he needs to try and find a way in. Of course, there's always going to be improvements to be made in our side. So, look, I've been hearing he's been having a good training or a good pre-season and has been training well. So if that's the case, then, you know, maybe he will be back as a regular in the side, but there's no doubts that he'll have to actually earn his spot back. Of course, he's coming off a year off the game, basically. So, you know, he needs to prove that he's still got that, I guess, he's still got that power in him, and he's got to prove that he still has his game. So, yeah, he definitely has to earn his spot back. It's no question about that. Matty Lyons asks, which young draftees can we expect to get a game this season? Well, that's a tough one. It's always hard to predict which draftees will get a game in their first season, I suppose, at the club. I'm just going to put one name out there who I actually think will definitely get a game this season, and that's Timothy English. He looks absolutely sensational. 205 centimetres. He was picked at pick 19 of the draft, so that's a first selection there for us. He's a ruckman, and I think that's somewhere where we may need improvement this year in terms of I guess, what needs improving from last year. I think the ruck is somewhere we may need improving, so he can probably provide that. He's very tall. He's he looks good. He averaged 15.6 disposals last year, and also 22.8 hitouts per contest in the waffle last year. That was in the Colts competition. So he looks absolutely amazing. He looks like a real talent, and I think he is definitely going to get a game this year, especially where we probably need a bit of improvement in that position, and that's definitely the ruck. Ben Evans states, I think Trav will be one of the main goal scorers. Thoughts? Look, Travis Cloke's a hard one for me at the moment. You know, I'm not really sure if he's going to get a game every week. That's kind of up in the air. I'm not really sure where he fits in at the moment. Of course, we've got lots of forward options at the moment, and you know, he's one of them. But look, he's definitely a good marker of the ball. It's no question about that. We've seen him take some good marks. It's just the accuracy over the years that has been a bit of a problem for him. So, yeah, look, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not really sure if he will be one of the main goal scorers. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. But I'm sure he will be a real key part of our team this year. There's no question about that. Jenny asks a really good question, saying, how is Big Red tracking and when can we expect him back? Well, at the moment, he's currently still in the rehab program, so he's not really out of that stage of I guess, getting back into some sort of training or running. So he's still a real long way off. It's hard to kind of say, I'm not a doctor, but it's hard to say when he'll be back. I'm probably predicting he'll be back, look, maybe at the back end of the season, maybe a month, 2 months before finals, you'd have to say. Definitely not until the second half of the season. He's definitely out of the first half of the season. He might not even be ready until finals. He might not be able to even play this year in terms of you know, the injury was pretty bad, let's face it. So, not really sure when to expect him back, but he's still in the rehab program. I believe he's tracking well. He's not into any sort of training just yet. It's the same with Pruden as well. He's in the same kind of boat. So, look, if we were going to see him back this year, it's probably going to be in the back end of the season, and that's probably where Travis Cloke is really important to us, as well as players such as Cramery as well. So yeah, he's a while off, I'd say. And that is it for the second episode of After the Dogs Roar for 2017. Thank you very much for clicking and watching this video. I do hope you liked it. If you did, please press that thumbs up button. Of course, don't forget to share and comment this video as well. A big episode coming up next week. Of course, our men return not this weekend, but the next weekend. So I'll preview the first of the pre-season games, which is against Melbourne next week. Of course, I'm also going to have a look at the squad as well, the changes that have happened over the pre-season as well. So a big episode coming up next week, and of course, coming up on next week's episode is, of course, our continuing coverage of the women's competition and our women's side as well. So that's coming up next week. Do stay tuned for that. And until then, I'm Jacob. Go Dogs. Bye for now.